Okay, welcome everyone to the THX Network second community update and AMA. Here we'll be talking about the updates that have been going on with Thanks Network, as well as the developmental timeline as to the progression of the project and shining a lot of light to all of our listeners. So let's get on into it.
Cool, thanks, Philip. So first of all, thanks everybody for being here. Also to the people watching this later on our YouTube channel. You're of course all very welcome to join our live sessions. We really appreciate the input that we're getting from these sessions and from our community. So yeah, it would be great if a few people show up and we can have a live discussion besides presenting our progress and discussing on Discord, Telegram, or other social channels. That being said, today we'll discuss some community updates. Our developer Peter will give a product update. Then we'll talk shortly about our progress with onboarding new users and detail a bit about our onboarding and inbound and outbound sales program. We'll do another treasury update, show how things are looking financially in terms of the Thanks token. And we've got a very exciting update regarding an upcoming seed round that we've worked very hard on preparing a pitch for in the last few months. Not few months, in the last months. And lastly, we have the chance for any community member showing up to ask some live questions if there are any. So, that being said, let's start with the community updates. So first some exciting news. A new report came out by Sifted. Sifted is an institution backed by the Financial Times, and it reports very in depth about the startup scene in Europe. And great news. We have been named in two categories, both in the early stage market map category and in the early stage startup to watch categories, which is great. This means that the work we're doing is being noticed by other parties, and that they think we are working on something promising as well. So great to see that the thoughts we're having are being externally validated as well. So we first wanted to share that news with you. That being said, our community metrics are quite flat still. So we discussed this last time as well. We're about on the same level as we were once we started this thing off. So there's clear something we have to do something if we want to grow in terms of community size. I believe we've said this before. I think one of the challenges that we're having is that the use of our product is for a relatively specific target audience, which makes it sometimes harder for a lot of people to get involved in a really low fashion way. So I think this is something that we will have to address. But luckily we found something. Well, we have a solution for that, on which we'll tell you a bit more later during this meeting. So what we're seeing is we started advertising a bit more on LinkedIn, which pushes our growth. We see a small change in growth for that channel. Telegram stays about on the same number of active users, and we're seeing a very slow decline on Discord and Twitter. We've had a Slack channel for ages, but we haven't really seen any growth on there. So we're thinking about phasing it out slowly. Hi, thanks for joining. So I think this is something that we could ask the community, and feel free to drop in on this as well, Philip. We wrote out a few like initial ideas what community members might want to see more from our sides. This is also something that we discussed during the one-on-one member interviews, but this might be a great time to ask these questions to the wider community as well. These are just some first ideas that we picked up from watching other communities for For example, should we increase the number of Twitters or LinkedIn posts, more frequent sessions like these? On some other projects, we've seen Discord community bots that automatically distribute roles based on your activity. That's something that people would be interested in. Maybe even a meme contest or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe community incentives like the sales mining program.
Oh,
So yeah,
I'd love to
yeah, go ahead.
I'd love to chip in on this one. So, actually, personally, myself, I'd love to see more in the community is some more use cases and more videos out for Thanks Network, showcasing the great product that we've built thus far. Show really new potential outreach as to what the platform's really about. I feel like these other suggestions might be more secondary approach. So meme contests and incentive programs. I think the main thing we want to do is educate people as to what we really do and what we're about. So that should be the mission of Thanks. My opinion, and how we go about it is to provide as much community content as we possibly can. So what we could actually launch as a platform is some sort of bounty round for our community that do utilize and hold the Thanks token, or they don't even potentially need to hold the token to integrate and use the platform, create videos of them using Thanks, showcasing whatever token they might have created and how Thanks has incentivized their own Twitter account to show, and then we'll show that on light within our Twitter and engagement. I think that would be a great starting point as to growing an outreach and showing our product. I think a big platform, Step N, they did that with their showcasing of their running platform, and it was very successful. It built and grew viral. So a similar approach, obviously, to showing our use case for Thanks would be an essential business model. I feel, into my opinion.
Yeah, I think those are some great ideas. I actually started utilizing Thanks for myself as well, for my own business. It's in very early stage, but might be fun to write out a use case and share it with the community as some inspiration to start using it on another level without like having the need for a big community, because I don't have that either.
I can also
Yeah, of course.
we like last year somewhere we developed this Discord bot, but it's kind of dormant at the moment. I really think that if we tweak it a little bit and change the features that are in there a little bit to what we like to see, we can also make use of that within our own Discord channel. Current functionality is about rewarding people with tokens from a pool whenever they place an emoji on a message. Well, maybe that's not the best use case, but the groundworks for anything like that are already there, so it should not be too big of a deal to adapt it a little bit and start using it within Discord. Maybe that's also a nice way to both showcase the product and also have some more interactions with the community.
Yeah, that's a very valid plan. Let's add that to our agenda, and then maybe even like write out a bounty for it, because I believe the initial product came from a hackathon as well, right?
Yeah, but it's been worked on by Twan Garfield, and he's also working on Team, so I bet he's happy to extend it.
Dope.
But yeah, this of course gets back to the big question that every business has: what will be the tokenomics of such a concept? Which is something you need to think through first.
Cool. Gambit, I see you've joined. Thanks a lot. If you've got some input on this that you're willing to share, please feel free to break in on this one as well. We're with a small team here now, so might as well open up the floor for things like this.
So as far as the Discord bot thing goes, I think that's a great solution. So we've got some inner circle solution going, as well as some outer circle solution. So improving within both areas is mandatory for business growth. So yeah, great suggestions.
Cool. If not, let's continue with
Yep. So I'll go to the next slide.
Yeah, so something very exciting for people in Amsterdam. This week is DevConnect in Amsterdam, and we are throwing a small party together with our friends from the Blockchain Foundation the Netherlands and KRIA. Blockchain Foundation Netherlands is, well, it speaks for itself. It's an organization for blockchain companies. And KRIA is a software company that focuses on supply chain solutions, also using blockchain. And yeah, tomorrow we'll host a party at their office from 4:30 onwards. Please DM us if you want to get involved with that, and if you're in Amsterdam for DevConnect. Maybe we can still get you on the list for that. It's just 12 minutes by bike from Amsterdam Central Station, or 19 minutes by our lovely public transport to the Houthavens. So yeah, if you're in the neighborhood, feel free to drop by, and would be very fun to see you there. So, a short team update. No new people this month, just some changing roles. You said
Yeah, well, we're working with, well, we do some sort of a month of a trial with Valeria. She's an Italian developer, yeah, senior backend developer, but trying to work her way around as a junior in the blockchain space. And we're working together this month to see if we can make it a more durable fit. This is going really well, so I hope next week we can talk a bit more about a more long-term relationship.
Yeah, will be very cool. More devs, more speeds, like that. As for the existing team, we've evaluated our progress on certain metrics, and we've decided that with the growing amount of content that's going out, the decks that we're building for our outbound sales programs, and the seed round that we just discussed, we've decided that I will be spending more time on creating content and supporting our team member Stefan with content for outbound sales and such. And Mieszko and Philip will focus on community growth and governance and community management. So yeah, I'm very excited about this switch because creating content is something that I really like, and this gives me the chance to learn a lot from the experience that Mieszko and Philip already have in the blockchain space, and in which I'm steadily gaining more knowledge, but still I'm very much a noob when compared to these guys still. So yeah, very good news in that regard. You want to add to this, Philip?
No, I'm actually pretty happy with the way things are. So we'll go to the next slide.
Yeah, right.
I changed up the windows so that we will be looking more into the camera instead of Jorit's screen. But could
nice.
you verify that the recording is still recording the slides, Philip?
Yes. So I double checked that just briefly earlier. We were recording the slide as well as recording you guys. So I'm switching in between the slides to switching between the listeners.
Cool.
Nice, good stuff. Yeah.
Product updates. Let's step it. Yeah, back to the roadmap. Also added all the stuff that has been prioritized yet. As explained in the last session, every month we do a prioritization session on an epic level, and this month some more have been added. So what we've been working on in the last month was account management. This basically means that from out the dashboard or the wallet, you will be able to get redirected to our authorization provider, where you can change some personal details, have an insight in your current active plan, but also enable multi-factor authentication so that your wallet is protected a little bit better than only with an email address and a password. Then another one we worked on was the deployment wizard. Epic, this is the scope of this was to basically split off token contract deployment from pool deployment. And that has been a little bit of groundwork for the introduction of NFTs, which are also tokens, but need to be deployed through a different flow. I will show some visuals right after these slides to clarify it a little bit more. Then reward configuration was more of a grouped epic where various new enhancements to the reward system have been added. So for example, you will now be able to configure a supply limit to the amount of rewards that you want to distribute. We're also working on an expiry date so that you can limit the amount of time your rewards are valid. Another one is that you will now be able to also set a title for your rewards, so it's a little bit easier to manage them. Because currently only the reward size was a way to identify them. We're displaying all the conditions a little bit more easily, like social, or if you can claim them once or multiple times per account, etc., etc. So this part is being heavily configured. Oh, also for you, Philip, I noted your suggestion in the suggestion channel about making the QR codes a little bit more fancy. So first step has been made to at least display the THX logo in the middle of the QR code. But of course, we'll extend this later on by allowing users to upload their own little image that can personalize those QR codes a little bit more.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so that's all great. Time lock tokens is also a little bit of a new reward type, not necessarily a reward type, but something that ties into the distribution of rewards. With that configuration, you can say, okay, now I want to distribute all those rewards, but only after a certain date. I want people to be able to withdraw them. Clients that we were talking to had certain needs, so that's why we implemented this. And KPIs, key performance indicators, something that we work with on the business side of things. Currently, we had to adjust our flows a little bit to log timestamps of people logging in, but also last transactions from within a pool, so that we have some indications on the activity within our software. That's all delivered. Things that are in progress, and as you can see, they have been in progress for a while because they are large epics, are the NFTs. I'm working on that personally. Deployment of NFTs is already there, but connecting them to a pool so that you will be able to mint them towards people through our API is something that still needs to be finished. The payment gateway is something that Bram is working hard on. We have the MetaMask integration in the wallet ready, and I'll skip to the cross-chain payments. We'd like to combine it with allowing people to make a payment from layer 1, so the Ethereum main network, towards a pool of us that lives on the layer 2, the Polygon network. Did a lot of research on that. All seems valid, and we also hope to include that at least before the end of the month. So that's all the current stuff. Then here you've got a few visuals. So this is the account page. From your dashboard or wallet, you will be able to go there by clicking the account link, provide some information, see your address, email address, and potentially enable or disable your multi-factor authentication. Once enabled, you will see this extra field when logging into your account.
I haven't enabled that yet, but does it work with my Google Authenticator?
Yeah, it currently it works with Authy or Google Authenticator. I guess
Nice.
both of them should be fine.
We can all see.
Huh?
We can all see Peter's password's 12 characters long, so get guessing, people.
It's my test account, though. All right. This is also new, so introduced a little bit of fancying up the homepage that was non-existent for before. It's basically more like a portal where we can send people towards different sections within the software. This also became more important with scaling up different types of tokens, different types of pools, etc., etc. So You can imagine like one of the, I will show that in a bit, another epic for this month that needs to be started yet is analytics, for example. That could be a new section that is added over here. Yeah, this is ERC20 deployment. I did a little bit of changing on the names because probably not everybody knows what ERC20 is, so I just call it tokens and NFTs now, which is probably more accustomed for users. But as soon as you deploy one, you will have an overview of all the tokens that you deployed, and when deploying a pool, it will be very easy to connect one of your own tokens or one of the tokens that's available on the quick swap token list, for example, or maybe even a token that's not part of our ecosystem. Then you can just provide an address and connect it to your pool. Yeah, this title is a little bit misleading. I also fixed that this morning, but didn't update the screenshot. So this is deployment for tokens, either unlimited or limited tokens. Yeah, it's just all a little bit more separated and more clean. This is what I talked about. So the rewards overview got improved a little bit. We fancied up those QR codes a bit. You can see that they work over here. And this is the supply limit feature where you can see how many of your token rewards are claimed or if they hit the limit already or not.
So this is a functionality that you would use if you say, for example, the first 10 people to click this link will do this.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Yeah.
Then you give the limit of 10 over here.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, well, this is NFT creation. For the people a little bit familiar with how the metadata for NFTs is structured, this is probably familiar. They are a bit similar to the other token contracts, so you give them a name and a symbol. In our database, we keep a description so that we can explain to people a little bit more what this NFT collection is about. And then you are able to configure the metadata by adding properties. So let's say that this collection is about the planets of the galaxy. Then you can start describing planets based on color, shape, and age, for example. And then when your NFT collection is created, you will see that over here. And then as soon as I'm done with the minting, based on those properties, you will be able to mint the actual tokens and transfer them to actual users. And then they will be the owner of a specific NFT within the collection. So that's a bit how that should work, and this is the part that was implemented. Yeah, then scheduled. As usual, there is a lot more to do, and this is a little bit in order of priority, I guess. Security audit is scheduled. This is not for the smart contract layer. We will do that a couple of months later. This is mainly for our authorization provider and the API themselves. Because they came at a stage where they are pretty stable and where we are comfortable with saying, okay, if we audit this now, then we don't have to run into a second audit a month later because we changed this amount of code or anything like that. So starting that up with a SaaS company, Civer.io. They're also based here in the Netherlands, and they deliver security audits as a service. So then it will also be very easy to make use of them in a recurring manner. Wallet skins, one of the biggest requirements for a lot of leads that we are talking to is that they want to have their own experience when they let their users use the wallet. So first I was thinking, okay, maybe we should just allow people from the dashboard to configure things like back logo and maybe a color scheme. I looked at actually a little bit further in figuring out how we can let people deploy their own wallet application, but still make use of our authorization provider. So manage their IPs and things like that, but that they have full flexibility in setting up a wallet. Yeah, that's the first objective, and then afterwards we can still allow people from the dashboard to configure things like logos and background images a little bit. Analytics, it's also a large epic. This will allow people to have insight in, I think, 3 main topics. So deposits and withdrawals in from the pool, but also the performance of your ERC20 or ERC721 token contracts, more on a transaction level there. Of course, you can also go to Polygon Scan to have a more in-depth look, but I think it's really nice to also allow people to look into that within the dashboard app. Then NFT authorization. As soon as we are done with the NFTs, I think this will be a very nice utility that we can pretty much easily build into our infrastructure. Because as soon as we know who holds the NFTs that are created through our platform, we can also make checks or offer a way to check for ownership before you can do certain things and expose that through an SDK or certain API calls. Management, we are actually already storing all the members for a pool in our database, but we're not really exposing that in the dashboard interface yet. So this is an epic to create lists of people that have earned rewards within your pool and things like that, make them searchable and provide some more information about them. And then last but not least, it's also a little bit like a bucket for all the tiny tasks that are open for a while. It's about search engine optimization and general site improvements for the public site so that we can, for example, more easily share links and that previews will be displayed correct. Not the most exciting stuff, but also important for the marketing efforts that we do. So that's it. I won't go into everything that we have not prioritized yet, but if you have questions about any of it, feel free to drop a comment in YouTube or the Discord channel. And then over to you.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned in the team update, I'm working together with Stefan on our sales program. And so first a bit more in depth about how our go-to-market funnel looks like. So we basically got two tactics for this. One is our inbound funnel. We've got about 10 signups a month, over 10K accounts registered, and 3,800 activated wallets. So these are the users that sign up to our platform directly, that are having a look around. Some of them are starting to use it, but this is more of a black box for us, and also not the very super high value customers. Of course, to grow this pool, we've launched the community sales mining program. I'll tell a bit more about that in a few slides. And then for our outbound marketing, this is something that we do ourselves. This is aimed at very high value customers through our existing business network, through partners networks, things like that. It's going quite well. We're doing about 2 demos a week on average. So far we've signed 4 letters of intent. This means that we sign basically a preliminary agreement with these parties to say, okay, we're going to work together in the future. We've got 2 live customers at the moment. So that's going quite well. Yes, let's talk about this first. The community-driven sales program. So just as a reminder, we've allocated quite a bit of THX tokens for community incentives, about 4 million a year even. So there's 20 million reserved in total. This is just a reminder, because we've got some very good news. Our proposal on discourse about the inbound sales mining program has been approved. We had a little bit of discussion on our discourse with a few members, but overall reactions were positive. So this means that we will be moving ahead with this program, and hopefully we will see some community members delivering their input, earn some thanks in the meantime, and help grow our company through the community, which was also always one of the wishes that we envisioned for this project. So a special thanks to Miesco, Philip, Gambit, you're here as well. Thank you so much. And Prince for providing input on the discourse discussion. Great, and thanks a lot, partners. Yeah, that's a little kid from the internet meme. You know it?
No, I don't know it. That's why it's funny to show a little kid.
Yeah, this is like some obscure internet things.
Ah.
People will know it.
I've seen this meme for many years now.
Right? Yeah. It's the guy who goes like, I believe that's him. Okay, so we already touched base a little bit on this last time. At least the first two on the left we already discussed. Unfortunately, we can't say any names yet, but next month they will both be live. So expect some updates on these. And a new secret project that we can also say nothing about, not too much about. At least beside that, it's a very, very high value customer. We've been in contact with them for quite a while, and they've got an international music artist portfolio. So very, very exciting stuff coming up in that regards. So yeah, like I mentioned, we've signed letters of intent with these parties. So we expect to be able to announce them very soon. Besides that, we've also updated the pricing again for the second time in a relatively short time, but that's fine because this means that we do some changes, we go out into the market with them, and then we notice that they weren't the best ones. So yeah, we changed it again. We went for more of a subscription model with basic features for 89 euros a month, and a custom price for premium members. This is just to make things a bit more simple for most customers, and especially that large base of customers that's signing up organically through our inbound marketing. For them, this is way more what's the word? Hoppable? Way
feasible?
Yeah, I guess so. This is way more feasible to have like a monthly fee instead of a startup fee that's relatively high. So yeah, we believe this is a good pricing structure, and we've gotten some good feedback from clients on this as well. So wanted to share that with you. Yeah, let's look at some more money. So, snapshot of our treasury. We're doing very well. 1.8 million liquidity dollars over the 3 pools. Especially the balancer pool has been amazing. I believe Philip pays his groceries from the APR. I get about a beer weekly, but that's fine. But yeah, again, we highly recommend everybody who wants to provide some liquidity to join the balancer pool, because at the moment that's still doing very well in terms of APR. As we announced in the community, there have been some changes at the balancer side. They switched to VBAL in order to be able to claim rewards, but that has only been activated for mainnet. So they still have to push some updates on the Polygon network, but you will be able to claim your rewards on that again shortly. Yes, then more money. Okay, so this is what we've been working on, at least the sales team for the last week. Very good question, Gambit. We'll get to that in the next session. So we've worked on our on a few things actually. Stefan has created a long and short list of investors. They are a mix of like blockchain-oriented companies and SaaS investment companies. That's really well done. So we're going to reach out to a lot of them and then update our deck accordingly based on the feedback that we're getting from them. We've spent a lot of time on creating a very detailed and very streamlined investor deck. You can see the snapshot of it on the right, and we will be starting outreach very soon. Our goal is to raise about 1.8 million, and we're doing a 50-50 split in terms of equity and tokens. So this as a benefit for investors because they're both in it financially, but also get a piece of the pie in terms of governance. So yeah, we believe this would be a very good split. Let's see some of the notes that Stefan shared with me on this. Yeah. Yeah, I've said everything that we needed to say about this. So, how the community can help with this? We think we've got everything on lock, of course. But if you have some parties that you say, of which you say, okay, you guys must surely reach out to them. Feel free to drop them in our Discord, and we'll double check them on our list to make sure that we don't miss any exciting opportunities. So if you've got people in your network with big bags, let us know. Where's my mouse? So yeah, I think that's most of it from our side. Gambit dropped a question in Discord asking, is there any plan for tanks to help creators with use cases for their tokens? This reward NFT gets you early access to this event, etc. Yeah, that's a very good question. This is actually something that we noticed during our talks, and also has influenced our positioning a little bit, actually. Peter can elaborate a bit on this, but in the beginning we thought, okay, let's make a tool for developers, and then we noticed that developers have a hard time building these business cases that you're referring to. So now we're kind of shifting our focus to talking with people with a marketing background, and they are way more they're a bit more familiar with creating business cases for their own clients. So in the case if a creator has their own team around them, then that's usually not necessary, but it helps us a lot because we can talk marketing to marketing in a way. For some other creators like Matthias, this is something that we're actively helping them with, and this is also a reason for that custom price tier. So based on how much support they need on these kind of stuff, we can deliver that, of course, but it also means that while we're doing that, we can't work on other things. So this is something that we'll just have to see how this progresses, what kind of customers will be joining in the future, and how much time we will take on this. Right? What's your vision on this?
Well, yeah, a lot. I think coming back to the question, it's something that we struggled with a little bit in the past few months, following up on leads and helping them out with basically designing their full tokenomics. That's a little bit too much for a small team like us, but we still believe that it is super necessary in this stage of the company. One thing that comforts us a little bit is knowing that as soon as we have a few successful cases out, they can function as blueprints for others to also start copying that behavior or those strategies. Because I firmly believe that whatever we are doing in terms of adding tokens to marketing activity is really a new marketing tactic that people are introducing to their existing business activities. So in terms of positioning, our focus is way more on offering marketing tooling with blockchain technology than offering ease of use developer tooling for creating whatever you want to create. And of course, we will still be very developer friendly, but from a communications point of view, we will orient us way more on this marketing segment. We also see that in the leads that we are talking to, like in the beginning, it would mainly be developers looking for easy ways to embed tokens within their app, but currently it's more music labels or market influencer bureaus or companies like that do see the power of tokens and blockchain, but have trouble embedding that within their business. Yeah, like I said, we hope that as soon as we have a few successful cases out, they can function as an example, and then we can start reeling those in.
Yeah, definitely. We also have on our content creation backlog, to write a few pages about, first of all, our existing customers, but those pieces of content can also serve as inspiration for other creators and other communities or whoever wants to use a product, to serve as like a starting point on how they can develop new business models using this tokenization tool.
And it ties into what Philip said at the beginning of this talk, as if we start showcasing more what other people do, this might inspire new ones in what they should do. The right format for that probably still has to be determined. Videos could be great, but I can also imagine simple tutorials on Medium, for example, to be very effective for people to easily set up some nice marketing tricks with our software.
Sure. Does this answer your question, Gambit?
I assume so.
Yes, perfect. Great. So if there's anything else, that was it from our side at least. If there's anything else, we are more than happy to discuss this. And otherwise, we will get back to that to the roadmap that Peter just showed.
Exactly. Are you also good, Philip? Nothing more to ask or share?
No. I think you covered it quite well there, Gerard.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks again, everybody. Especially if you listened in live, and if you're watching this on YouTube later, we'll make sure to share the screencast as soon as possible. We've got a template now, so it can be a bit faster than the first time. That being said, have a great afternoon. I hope to see you in all the communities, and then we'll be in touch and see you on the next community AMA.
Yeah, thank you everyone, and I will see you on the next community AMA.